Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to World of Tanks here with a new tank review of the AC-1 Sentinel. Um, I got the £15 back because it is very good value for money. Because in that pack you get 2,500 gold, 100% crew, the tank, exclusive Australian camo because it is an Australian tank, so here you go. There is the two-tone Australian camo. Um, which most of the Sentinels, it says there, were using. So you get that, plus you get almost 1 million credits worth of equipment, and it's all equipment that you need on this tank, as I will go through and point out. So starting off then with the Sentinel. Um, 370 hit points, which is a lot for a tier 4. It is on par with the Matilda, which is known as having the highest amount of hit points of tier 4 medium tanks, at least. The B1 surpasses it and heavy tanks in this tier, but for a medium tank, 370 hit points is a lot. As you can say, 270 for the Hetzer, so that's a whole 100 less. The Valentine 2 does have the most, actually, 380 hit points, but then again, it's not as good as the Matilda or the Sentinel. The T28E also has 380 hit points, which is a lot, and it is a very good medium tank. I do like that tank. MX40, 300, 430 for the B1, but yes, it has got a very high hit point pool on the Sentinel. And before you ask, this bit here is a protected covering for the machine gun mounted in the hull. As you can see, that little dot there is for the hull machine gun, and that's just protection from shots destroying the machine gun, things like that, which is why that's there. It does look very odd, I know, but yeah. Weighs 28.39 tons. With the current loadout that I have, with the 31 load limits, 31 ton load limit. It does have a 330 horsepower engine, which means that it has got, where is it? There you go, 11.62 horsepower per ton ratio, which is not very good at all. The Matilda, yeah, terrible. The Hetzer, yeah, the Hetzer has slightly more than the AC-1 Sentinel, but the Sentinel will not climb very quickly up hills. The horsepower per ton ratio is not particularly that good. However, the horsepower does allow it to travel at 60.4 kilometers per hour top speed, which is very, very fast. That is a very fast medium tank. Means that you will be able to keep up with things like the light tanks. 40 degrees per second hull traverse as well, which is very good, actually. Moving on to the armour now, 65 at the front of the hull, plus it is slightly sloped. If you look at the Matilda, that's got 75 at the front, however it's flat. This bit is rounded, however if it hits there it will just ping up into the flat plate here, whereas the Sentinel, 10mm less, however it is sloped, which means that angling you will bounce lots of shots from your front. 45 for the sides and rear of the hull, however, is not particularly that good. Then again, the Matilda, actually, yeah, okay, ignore the Matilda. However, if you were to angle the tank, like I said, angle it like that, it will increase the effective armor thickness, and you will bounce many a shot, probably from the sides and front if you angle. As for the turret, 65 all around, plus it is very well sloped, which means it may increase the effective armor thickness. So it is a very, very well-armoured tank. Not as well-armoured as the Matilda, but it is certainly faster and more mobile than the Matilda. And moving on to the gun that it has got the 2-pounder Mark 10A, and if I bring up the same gun on the Matilda, I think... Oh no, it doesn't have the Mark 10A, it only has the Mark 10. Okay, or the 10B. But looking at this gun here, 40mm, it's a 2-pounder, so it's a 40mm gun, has a very high rate of fire, 26.09, as you would expect from a 2-pounder. 88mm of penetration with standard AP, which is, it's alright. things like the AMX-40, the B1 perhaps, and the Matilda and other Sentinels will give you problems at medium to long, maybe even close range, with only 88mm of penetration. 121mm of penetration with APCR, and just to compare that to the Matilda with the standard AP, 121, 121 standard AP penetration for the Matilda is the same as APCR on the Sentinel, so that's just a point. And 23mm of penetration with high explosive. Yeah. Once again, only 40mm gun, only a 2-pounder, 45mm of penetration across the board, with 60 for high explosive, because high explosive, then again, only 23mm, don't use high explosive under any circumstances. However, the great rate of fire and the alright penetration, the adequate penetration, is offset by the dispersion and the aiming time. 0.37 dispersion, which is not very good at all. If we bring up the Matilda's one, 0.36 and 1.9. 0.37, 2.7. So, yeah, the aiming time is very, very bad, and the dispersion could be better. Bringing up the Hetzer's howitzer here. Hetzer's howitzer aims 1 second faster. And that's a 105 howitzer. This is only a 40mm. So, yeah, it has got very, very bad dispersion and aiming time, which is why in the Ultimate Bundle you get an enhanced gun lane drive to, offset that slightly. So yeah, the gun is alright, but the accuracy aiming time is very, very bad. 1.94 gun reload time with my 100% crew that I got. It comes with 100% crew in the Ultimate Bundle, so yeah, got that. So yeah, it's a very, very rapid firing 2-pounder, which is what you should expect from British 2-pounders. 44 degrees per second turret to first, which is very good. 350 meters view range, which is also very, very good. However, the signal range is only 450, so I'm going with signal boosting to up that. But yeah, it has better view range by 10 meters than the Matilda, and also the signal range is the same. They are basically the same radio. There you go. You've got they're exactly the same radio, except this one's denotated with Ost for Australia. So yeah, because Australia, why not? But yeah, so that's going over the basic stats here. Holds 130 rounds of AP, APCR, or high explosive, depending on your preference. Obviously, regular consumables, whatever you want to put in there. And then for your equipment. Now, I've mounted these 3 equipment because in the Ultimate Bundle is what you get. So, yeah, but those are very, very good choices on the Sentinel. So, Caronet, if you want, you could sort of be a medium tank scout, but I would suggest not. And being a sniper is probably really frowned upon because you don't really have the accuracy or the aiming time to really use your to really be a sniper. So yeah, probably not Camonet. Improve vents, definitely very useful. Get that reload time, aim time down. That's very useful. Enhanced suspension. Well, you're definitely a very fast and mobile medium tank, and you could circle strafe. So sure, enhanced coil springs class 2 is probably definitely going to help you here. Medium spall liner, not a bad idea. You do have very good armor from the front, and the turret is very well armored. So medium spall liner, definitely not a bad idea. I don't have it on the Matilda. No, I don't. I have some different, but still, I could fit it on the Matilda. Yeah, so the small liner, not a bad idea. Gun rammer, definitely very useful on this tank. Get that reload time down. It's nice to just pump out a shot every 2 seconds. Well, less than 2 seconds even. So yeah, definitely tank gun rammer. Binos, once again, unless you're being a scout or a sniper, don't bother. Coated optics is always very useful. And enhanced gun lane drive is a must-have on this tank because, yeah, 2.7 seconds aiming time, very, very bad. Toolbox, Also, if you can't think of anything else to put on, then definitely go with toolbox. Now, let me just check, because it says plus 10 to view range up to a view range of 445 meters. It used to say up to 500. If I go to the particular tier 2 here, what does it say? Up to a range of 455 meters. Okay. Alright, okay, so they've changed that slightly. Okay, I was just checking. But yeah, so there's your equipment. I have obviously once again gone with this because it's what came with the Ultimate Bundle. And as for your crew, you've got a crew of 5 Australian chaps. You have got your commander, gunner, driver, radio operator, and loader. So, commander. Sixth Sense is definitely very useful in this tank. It's very useful on any tank, but on this tank, yeah, sure, go with Sixth Sense. Eagle Eye, also very useful. Jack of all trades, you could do. If you can't, if you've already gone with your 2 favourite skills and you can't really think of anything else to put on, then sure, Jack of all trades. Recon, always useful, so yeah, definitely go with Recon. Mentor, I don't see a point in, then of course you've got your common skills. As for the gunner, I'm going with Deadeye because it's a very rapid-firing gun, and if you can improve your module damage with that rapid-fire gun, that's definitely going to be useful, so definitely Deadeye. Snapshot, improved accuracy during turret rotation. If you're being a circle strafing medium tank, definitely. Improves accuracy of damage gun. Your gun's not very accurate anyway, so probably hold off on that. Makes enemy vehicles visible for 2 more seconds. That's the same as 1 more shot at them with this tank, so definitely go with that. And then, of course, you've got your common skills. Moving on to the driver then, you have got off-road driving. Off-road driving is always very useful. And clutch braking, you don't necessarily need it on this tank. 40 degrees per second traverse speed is very good, so probably hold off on clutch braking unless you really want to be a highly mobile medium tank. Preventive maintenance if you keep getting set on fire. Smooth ride, improve accuracy when firing on the move. You could do. Once again, not very accurate in the first place, but if you're circle strafing, may help. Controlled impact, you do have very thick armor and you do have the speed, unlike the Matilda, to actually ram things. So if you want to ram things, then sure, you can go with controlled impact. And then of course you've got your common skills. As for your radio operator, definitely go with signal boosting because signal boosting, you don't have a particularly good radio. 450 meters signal range, yeah. So go with signal boosting. Relay, you could go with it after you've gone with signal boosting. Call for vengeance, you could do. You could do if you can't think of anything else. Situational awareness, always very useful. And of course you've got your common skills. And finally for your loader, I am going with Adrenaline Rush because, well, Adrenaline Rush is always useful. Safe Stowage, always, again, very useful because increases your ammo-rack durability, which is very useful. It's always annoying when you get ammo-racked or your ammo-rack gets damaged. Intuition, you may want it on this tank because 88mm of penetration is alright, but it could be better, so you may be carrying around a small stock of APCR, so you may want to be swapping between them. Because you also go up against tier 5s and 6s, and 88mm of penetration not really going to cut it against things like KV1s, M6s, T150s, KV2s, things like that. So, yeah, you may want to go with that. That may not be a bad idea. And then, of course, you've got common skills for your loader. So, overall, it's a very strong medium tank at tier 4. However, that's only at tier 4. Going up to tier 5 and 6, yeah, your gun will struggle a bit. And also, as a note, let me just look. Yeah, you get special emblems, which is the first armor division. Yeah, you get those for free on this tank if you get the ultimate bundle along with the Australian camouflage. So yeah, that's just the thing here. Is there an Australian flag? I would be surprised if there isn't. Let me see. Flag of Australia. Scroll through here. You got Thailand, got Russia, Deutschland, England. Did I see it? There it is. Aussie. No, that's New Zealand. Damn it, it looks similar. Sorry, Australia. I mistook your flag for New Zealand. There it is. That's the Australian flag. Yes, it is. Sure. Australia. Good eye, mate. There you go. Alright, so yes, I now have my Australian flag and my emblem. That's wonderful. But yeah, so overall, definitely go with this tank. It's a very, very strong tank at tier 4. Tier 5 and 6 you'll struggle a bit. However, tier 4s, it's a very, very strong tank. And I'm sure I will enjoy playing it. So I will thank you for watching, and goodbye.